All right, good morning, everybody. York College. Thank you so much, Sam, for the introduction. Although I will say, I really miss the olden days of chapel, back in the good old days, when we had chapel in Freeman, which is like, a lot of you probably don't remember, faculty, staff, seniors. Whenever like a student spoke in chapel, it was a really big deal. Like, it's still kind of a big deal, but then it was like super exciting because your friends, like you gotta pick your own little posse, like your squad of friends if you're the chapel speaker, and your friends got to sit in like a row, like right here on the floor of chapel. So then when it went like really bad and everyone was like looking at their phones, you could just look at your friends and they'd be like, yes! And it was like, it was really good. And so I missed that. I wish we could have done that today, but I've got like, you know, I can see you all here, so that's at least not that bad. Also, really exciting that we had chapel in Freeman because you got to pick like your best friend or like somebody to introduce you who wasn't just like a faculty or staff member. Not that it wasn't great, but you got to pick a friend to introduce you, and they always told like the story of how they met you or like an embarrassing story about you. So I'm going to tell you all the story Nicole would have told today had she been introducing me. Nicole and I met, it was like really cool, the very second day of freshman orientation, our freshman year, and super, super exciting. We got paired up to do a three-legged race together, and this is the first time we had ever met. We got paired up to do a three-legged race across Jared Stark Field, and so they like tie our legs together, we're kind of chit-chatting, getting to know each other. We didn't really know each other at all at this point, and they said go, and we like ran down the thing, and due to her great athletic prowess and my everything else, we won. It was really exciting and it was awesome. And in a moment of great excitement and passion, she leapt into my arms and then she fell in love with me. And unfortunately for her, I wasn't looking for anything, you know, I just was really in the mood for a girlfriend. And so I'm sorry, it's the opposite. The opposite is what happened. But now we're great friends. We've been friends for 4 years, and so it's a fun little story. So that's the story she would have told had we gotten to do all that, but it did not happen. Also, like, it was really exciting because you did like shout outs to all your friends. So like I've been requested to do a bunch of shout outs today. So Callie, you guys, Shania, Fry, you guys specifically asked for it. Everyone else, I'm sorry, I forgot. Anyway, now that that is all over, I'm going to give you my little chapel speech. Hi, my name is Nolan, and I am the worst. Like, I suck. You guys, am I allowed to say suck in chapel? But it's true, I do. Like, do you guys ever do something or say something and you look back at it and you just cringe because it's painful to look at? Or it's painful to see, or I mean it could be years in the past, or it could be like just yesterday you said something to someone and you're like, oh, that was bad. That's my entire life, and I'm going to show you right now. If you would switch to the next slide. That's me, and that's painful to look at, I think. Both in high school and during my first year here at York. So like some of that wasn't even that long ago. Out of respect for a lot of my friends, I cropped everyone out of these pictures so they wouldn't be embarrassed. Aside from the picture of me and Nicole, mostly because I wanted you all to notice how frail and weak my 11-year-old boy arms next to hers. You can see why she fell for me, obviously. Also, I included a picture of me running cross country in high school. You can't really see it, but I'm convinced it's impossible to take a good picture while you're running cross country. It can't be done. You look horrible. And my hair is something else entirely. I don't know if all that picture down on the bottom left for you guys was after my Jackie Chan face freshman year. I dyed my hair supposedly brown for a show, and then it just turned black, and it was horrible. So that was a lot of fun. Someone needs to invent a time machine and go back to like 2008 and just like warn 2008 Nolan about all of this and let him know it's coming. Okay, you can switch off of this slide before people like take pictures and stuff. Anyway, I bring up all those pictures because I want you guys to understand when I say that I was the worst back then. I was just not a person I'm proud of in middle school and high school and a long time ago. And while that was kind of a physical representation of that, there were a lot of other things about me that I didn't like and I wasn't super proud of. And looking back, there are a lot of things about that Nolan that I cannot stand. And you would think, having matured into this really talented and funny and attractive and humble guy, that I'm past all of that, but I'm not. There are still a lot of things about myself that bother me. And yeah, I'm not obviously embarrassed or bothered by the way I used to look in middle school, because I just showed you guys all a picture. But there are still a lot of things about present Nolan that I don't really like. And I'm sure I'm not the only person in here who feels like that sometimes. Like, there are a lot of things about myself that I just wish were different, or I don't really like. Whenever I take a step back and I look at myself analytically and I think about the person I am and the person I've become, it's hard sometimes just not to not like me. I have a lot of flaws, I guess. For example, I hold grudges forever. If I or one of my friends are wronged by a person, I will literally never forgive and forget, and that's just part of who I am. When talking about other people, which I unfortunately find myself doing a lot, which is another character flaw, I have a tendency to focus on the negative instead of the positive. If I'm annoyed by a person for a day, or I don't really like some person, anything they do becomes exponentially more annoying. Which I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels like that. Like, if there's that one kid in class who you just can't really stand that day, and then they like sneeze, and everyone else is like, bless you, and you're like, could you not? Like, and that happens to me a lot. I don't know. I'm pretty quick to tune a person out if I discover they have a different opinion than me. I don't like listening to other people's opinions because mine are all right? I have a tendency to correct people a lot. I like to let other people know that they're wrong and I'm right. And that is annoying. That's really annoying. Sometimes I just get in a really bad mood one day, and I'm not in the mood to deal with people, and I let that affect the way I interact with everybody, my friends or teachers. And that's not fair. Just because I'm in a bad mood means I should interact with people differently. Occasionally, because I'm an upperclassman and a leader on campus or something, I don't know, I feel this sort of sense of entitlement. I don't know, either in the department, or I've been here for 4 years, why haven't I spoken in chapel yet? Those kind of things, And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like the person I just described. Somebody who has all those quotes is not somebody I would want to be a friend with. And I know you're all thinking, no, you're great, we love you, you're wonderful, Nolan, whatever, but like really, sometimes I'm just the worst. And sometimes I think I'm also my biggest critic. And I'm sure I can't be the only person in the room who feels that way. Over the last year, I have done a lot of learning about myself and the person I'm becoming. And that's not to say that every day has been full of gloom and doom as I think about everything I did wrong, and then I get in this pit of despair and self-loathing every night. But I have been doing a lot of soul-searching lately. I have a lot of good days when I'm really happy about me, but I think I also have just as many bad days where at the end of the day I look back and I'm like, I sucked today. I didn't do me proud today. During those bad days, it's hard. And it's hard to spend time with somebody who you don't like. And if that somebody is you, I think it's even harder, because you can't run away from yourself. You can't step out of your skin and go make new friends. You're with you all the time. And sometimes when you get in one of these moods, or at least when I do, and I feel like I can't do anything right, or I'm doing everything wrong, or I'm just not a good person, sometimes I start to question myself. Why am I like this? How do I have the friends that I have, even though I'm this horrible person? How does anyone in my life love me if I can't even love myself today? Why can't I just snap out of it? When will I be enough? When will I be good enough, smart enough, kind enough, mature enough? When will I be enough? A couple weeks ago, I'm going to tell you guys kind of a story, not really a story, just something that happened. A couple weeks ago, I was in a really bad place one day. It was during production week for the play, and I was really stressed and I was really busy, and I said some things that day that I probably would take back. I behaved that way in ways that I'm just not super proud of that day, and it's not like big things, the end of the world, it's just I was having a rough day. and I was in a very bad mood, and I got to play rehearsal, and I didn't want to talk to anyone, I didn't want to do anything, I just wanted to put on my costume and get on stage and, do whatever we do. And I walked into the green room that night, and I was in a very bad mood, and she doesn't know, where's Katie Bell? Is she in here? Katie, where are you at? Oh, hey Katie. Okay, she didn't know this was coming. I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit, but I walk into the green room, and Katie kind of looks at me and she goes, Nolan, you always have such a positive energy when I see you. Whenever I think of you, I just think of good vibes. Okay. I was sulking around all day in this little pit of sadness, feeling a little bit worthless that day, and for some reason, just me being me that day was enough for Katie. And thank you, Katie. Never really told you that. But that day meant a lot to me, and it made me think about other reactions and interactions I've had with people like that, where maybe I'm not having the best day, but sometimes I'm still enough for the people around me. I'm not saying to shy away from your problems. In fact, I think just the opposite. I think it's really important to recognize your faults and do some good soul searching and get to know yourself better and strive for personal improvement. And there's nothing wrong with having a bad day. Like Grant talked about in chapel a couple weeks ago, when you're in your darkness is when you grow the most. And that's when you learn who you are. So I'm not saying ignore your faults, but I am saying quit being so hard on yourself. Cut yourself some slack every once in a while. I have incredible friends, and day after day, for whatever reason, they put up with me, and they choose to keep me as a part of their life. And not only that, but they seem to enjoy spending time with me for whatever reason. And they love me for me and who I am, and that includes everything I don't love about myself. And they love me for me and not the improved version of myself I wish I could be someday, but for me where I am today. I have incredible friends and mentors in the faculty and staff here at YC, and they're the same way. They love me for me, and to them, I am enough. And if the God who made all the other amazing, wonderful people in my life, who I love so much, these people who are enough to me, if the same God who made them also made me, then surely I am also enough. And so are you. We're going to have bad days. And we're going to be flawed. I mean, we're college students. And more than that, we're human. And we're going to make mistakes. And we can't be expected to have it together all the time. And the people who love you don't expect you to have it together all the time. And God doesn't either. And if your friends and your family can see you for you and love you despite your flaws, then you are enough. And if they can't, I'm here to tell you God does, and He thinks you're enough. I decided to speak about this today, partially because I think there might be some people out there who needed to hear it, but also because it's just been on my heart, and I felt like I needed to hear this out loud to know that it was true. Nolan, the way he is right now in all of his flaws and faults, in the good days and the bad days, is enough. And so are all of you. Thank you.